अस्सलाम वालेकुम हजरात, क्या हाल है आप लोगों का? खैरियत से होंगे। आज हम मौजूद है पाकिस्तान फॉरेन पॉलिसी चैप्टर नंबर 1 पार्ट नंबर 3 में। तो शुरू करते हैं। द मुस्लिम लीग स्ट्रगल evaluate through four stage. At first it couched an equitable share in political and social life. During the second stage, the league emphasizes whose and constitutional safeguards for Muslims in province where they were a minority. As political thoughts progressed, the South autonomy for Muslim majority province and their then then finally raised their sights of an independent state. A profound grasp of the history and aspiration of the Muslim people led the influential poet philosopher Muhammad Iqbal to conclude as early as 1930 that the formation of a Muslim state amalgamating the Punjab North-West for an entire province, Sindh and Balochistan appears to me to be the final destiny. The Muslim. He also urged Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the living in London, to return as he was the only Muslim in India today to whom the community has a right to ask for safe guidance. The cleavage between the League and the Congress widened following the election in early 1937. The Congress exploited its triumph by excluding League members from participation in government in the province, adopting symbols of the Hindu Raj and promoting the replacement of Urdu with Hindi. Muslim leaders, realizing the consequences of disunity and factional politics before the election, now closed ranks under Jinnah's leadership. He galvanized Muslims by laying before them a lost vision of political salvation. Eminent Muslims and the Muslim media began to call him Quaid-e-Azam, great leader. In 1938, he was authorized by the League to explore the possibility of a suitable alternative political structure which would completely safeguards the interests of Muslims and other minorities in India. The Sindh Muslim League recommended the devising of a scheme for Muslims to attain full independence. The Second World War accelerated the political evaluation. The British wanted to win the war first and transfer power afterward. The Congress demanded power at once and a Hindu-Muslim settlement afterward. The Muslim insisted a Hindu-Muslim settlement first. 123 March 1940, a historic resolution was proposed at the Lahore session of a Muslim League demanding that the area in which Muslims are numerically in a majority as in the northwestern and eastern zone of India should be grouped to constitution independent state in which the constituent shall be autonomous, autonomous and sovereign. It was to go down in history as the Pakistan resolution. Muslim students in England had first suggested the name is 1932. Infabulated by the war, the British announced their intention to depart. The Congress demanded transfer of power, claiming the right of succession. As the largest political party, the Muslim League reiterated its divide and quiet demand, asking the British to first agree to the creation of Pakistan in regions where Muslims constituted a majority in a last attempt to realize their dream of preserving the unity of their Indian empires. The British cabinet mission in 1946 proposed a constitutional plan based on the division of British India into three autonomy zones, with the powers of the center to be limited to foreign affairs, defense, the communication. The League first accepted the plan but later rejected it because the Congress leader Jawaharlal Nehru asserted his party regarded itself free to change or modify the cabinet's Muslim mission plan as it thought best. With the plan thus undermined, the Congress refusal to grant the autonomy of the zones, the League reverted to the demand for the partition of British India into sovereign states. The British government then proposed the partition plan. After hectic consultation and negotiations, it was accepted by the leader of the Muslim League as well as the Indian National Congress, and announced on 3 June 1947, pursuant to the agreement, Pakistan was established through the exercise of self-determination by the people of the Muslim majority provision and parts of province of the British India Empire, either in popular referendum or by the vote of the elected representatives of the people. The Congress gradually agreed to the partition, and some of its leaders project the economic collapse of Pakistan. Now, one epitomized the contradictions in the Congress. More strictly than its spiritual leader Muhammad Gandhi, he agreed that partition was inevitable, but also declared, "So long as I am alive, I will never agree to the partition of India." The Congress leadership accepted the June 3 plan, but the highest organ of the party, the All India Congress, made quite well in endorsing the decision. Its resolution professed that the Congress could not think in terms of compelling the people in any territorial unit to remain in the India Union, but in another sentence harked back to its view that the unity of India must be maintained. In other contradiction, the Congress emphasized the unity of India but tried to undermine the unity of Pakistan by suggesting that the referendum in the northwest frontier province should provide for the people voting for independence. Apart from the difficult and divisive legacy of pre-independence political rivalry, adversarial perceptions of history, difference of religious and cultures, and the clash of political ideologies. Deep battles was engendered by communal rioting. This led to the massacre of hundreds of thousands of innocent people and the exodus of some 15 million people who moved from the country of their residence to seek refuge on the other. Further worsening of relations and the perpetuation of tension as was owed in particular to the failure to resolve the disputes that arose after independence. यहाँ पे हम अपने इस पार्ट नंबर 3 का अख्ताम करते हैं. मिलते हैं अगले पार्ट में. अल्लाह हाफिज़.